On The Biggest Loser Season 5, Ali Vincent not only lost 112 pounds, but also because she was the first female winner of the show, that makes her one of the most special ones ever. In Ali's first book, Believe It, Be It, How Being the Biggest Loser Won Me Back My Life, Ali tells us all, and she joins me now to give us a little preview. Hi.
Hey, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
It's been an amazing journey for sure.
Well, I can only imagine. I mean, Ali, your story is not only inspirational, but jaw-dropping. You were the first female to win on the show, The Biggest Loser. Tell us how your journey started from the moment you decided you needed to change the way you lived your life.
You know, I think that it's hard for me to actually pinpoint that moment that I knew that I needed to change the way that I lived my life. But I knew once I was on that campus that I would never go back to the way that I was living before. And really, it was just being unconscious. Like, I realized I had gotten so comfortable in my uncomfortableness or in my routine that I quit going for stuff. I quit being present in my moment. Kind of like when you know, I don't know if you've ever driven home from work and you get home and you're like, I have no idea how I got here, because that's like autopilot. And that's how I was living my life, was on autopilot, except for I wasn't going in any direction I wanted to go. And so I just knew that I needed to be present in my moments, and that was what I was going to commit to doing. And, you know, I stood in line for The Biggest Loser back in August 11th of 2007, and I knew that morning, like, oh my goodness, I'm going to stand in line for a show called The Biggest Loser. Something's got to change. It was like the tell truth, you know what I mean? And
right.
So I knew that no matter what happened, if I was going to get on the show or not, that I was going to be shifting into a healthier lifestyle, figure out a way.
Well, today you're hosting your own show on the Live Well Network entitled Live Big with Ali Vincent. Now, what is the goal of the show?
You know, the Live Well Network as a whole is just all about positive programming that you can take and apply to your day-to-day life. And that's really the idea behind Live Big with Ali Vincent. It was ironic that I had to lose half of me to start finally living big, you know, so I became smaller to live big. And I wrote that in my book, and that's kind of where we got the title from. But for me, it's about keeping that conversation going, you know, talking about wellness, talking about where I'm at today versus yesterday versus 3 years ago versus my future. You know, what is it, where are the shifts that I need to change in my diet and my routine and the way that I treat myself, the way that I honor myself, the way that I support my community and give to my kids. And, you know, I mean, it's just like there's a million different reasons out there that women, put before themselves. And my thing is, like, let's just talk about it so that it doesn't have to, so that we can figure out ways to have it all work out, so that you don't have to feel like you're picking and choosing, you know, what part of your life you give to and what part you sacrifice, because it is about living life big, living to the fullest, and that takes, that takes the support of friendships and from, plans and all of that. And so that's what we try to do on on Live Big with Ali Vincent, is really just, you know, keep that conversation going of wellness and balance, because I think that's the key, is balance.
Absolutely. Well, if you're just joining us, I'm speaking with Ali Vincent, the first female winner of The Biggest Loser, and we're talking about her new book. Now, Ali, what do you say to people who are trying to meet their weight loss goals but hit that bump in the road where they revert to their old habits?
You know, I think that there's a lot of different triggers that can happen if it's, you know, it's someone's birthday, or it's this anniversary, or it's that, where you make the exceptions. And you have to just keep in mind that there's always going to be something. You know what I mean? There's always going to be a party that you're invited to, an event that you want to go to. And so, like, if you always put yourself on the back burner when those situations come up, so you can, you know, quote unquote enjoy yourself and not have to worry about anything, you're never going to find your way to truly feeling great about yourself in any given moment, because you're constantly putting yourself on that back burner. So really just staying in the present, and to to mix it up. I think that the bumps in the road sometimes are from, you know, we get there and we've had so much success because our body went from nothing to moving, you know what I mean?
Right.
From completely maybe unhealthy or not paying attention at all to portioning out stuff and eating fruits and vegetables and stuff. And so in the beginning, your body's confused, so it performs for you, but then it gets used to it, and it knows to expect it, and so it doesn't need to perform for you. So I think a lot of people get discouraged because they plateau, you know what I mean?
Sure.
Or they're not seeing the results that they used to have, or they used to have so much energy after doing this, and it's just not working anymore. And I think it's just important to check in continuously throughout our journeys, because it's not a weight goal journey. It's the journey of the rest of our lives. And when there's weight to be lost, it'll be, you'll lose it, because it's not, if we're eating healthy and we're living a healthy life, and changing that conversation, I think is key. But really just mixing it up and keep your body guessing for you and have fun. I think that bumps in the road are discouraging, and then we revert back. But, my thing is, I just won't ever go more than 3 days without like doing something physical that makes me sweat.
Right.
Because otherwise it feels like I'm starting over, and I'm tired of starting over.
Right. Well, and let me go with that, because, there's people out there struggling each day with being overweight, but they feel they've gone so far and it's too far to actually start losing. I mean, what kind of words of encouragement and tips can you offer to get started? Because,
honestly,
you were there.
Yeah, I've been there, and that's really what motivated me to, to stand in line and stuff. And I felt like I was constantly, like, I would try one thing and I would get a little headway, and then I'd slide back down the deep dark hole, and then and I just kept, like, I felt like nobody could understand how I felt. I was the only person that this possibly could be happening to, and what I had to do, and that's the biggest thing that I could speak to, is that I had to do is acknowledge everything that I did wrong, every bad choice I made. And so I was like, you know what? I don't need to change who I am. I need to shift what I'm acknowledging. Like, you know what I mean? And so I started to acknowledge and just make small shifts into, like, okay, well, look, I got up early and I made my lunch. And so, like, that's the first step. Even if for some chance I don't eat my lunch, and I go to fast food with someone else, it's like, at least I got up and I did that. And so it was just acknowledging the different things that I did do versus what I wasn't doing, and literally 1 minute at a time. Like, I really got into each and every minute. And people ask me, how did you lose 112 pounds? And I'm like, I could tell you like the different things that I did, but I really would say that it's because I truly believe I can do anything for a minute. I could tell you that, anything I can do for a minute. I have no idea how I lost 112 pounds. It was a minute by minute. That's it. In that, I was able to win a lot and to start celebrating and to have like so small goals. Like, don't be realistic and but be challenging towards yourself, but acknowledge where you're at and go from there. I think that's the hardest part is, standing in line, standing on a scale, measuring your body, whatever it might be.
Don't like those scales, I know.
I know. Well, it's the starting point, but guess what? Like, if we never know where we're starting, there's no way we'll ever get to where we want to go, because there's no way to get directions, to make a plan. So as uncomfortable it is to tell the truth and where you're beginning, that's the last and very last moment it ever has to feel that way. Because you can do something about it.
Well, I'm just talking here with Ali Vincent, and she's got a new book out called Believe It, Be It, How Being the Biggest Loser Won Me Back My Life. And, when we're talking about scales here, it's so interesting because sometimes, facing that scale, like you said, you have to understand where you are. And sometimes I think people avoid the scale or don't want the scale because they don't want to face it,
Yeah, absolutely. It's hard to, the scale doesn't lie. Numbers don't lie. That's the good and bad about numbers. It's like they add up or they don't.
I know. I got on the scale the other day and I said, honey, did you use that scale in the bathroom? And he said, yes, I did. I said, was it right on for you? And he looked at me and he said, yes. And I said, okay,
Oh, no, yeah. And it's whether it's a scale or whether it's a pair of jeans or whether it's something, but you do have to have something to measure your success and to measure where you're going in either direction, because it is small choices that changes our lives in the positive and the negative. And so it's really just trying to, make healthier choices in any given moment, telling the truth, and really allowing yourself to be accountable, whatever that looks like, whether it's the scale, whether it's a measurement, whether it's the way that you feel after you do your walk versus, but really if you want to create change, you got to tell the truth. That you got to get into that area of your life you're afraid, and it is scary. My mom always says that they used to have those T-shirts say "No fear." She says it should read KNOW fear, because that's where change happens, and it is. It really is. It's not. If it wasn't scary, we would all be doing it.
Sure. No, that's true. And if you're not scared, it's not brave, right?
Yeah, it's not. Yeah.
That's one of my favorite sayings. But now, some people are saying to themselves, all right, well, you were on The Biggest Loser. So you had all of America was watching you, and you're getting up there. And I mean, if that's not encouragement, I don't know what is. But, maybe they're sitting there today, and maybe do they just start with like turning down the pie tonight and tomorrow morning maybe picking up an apple.
Or not even turning it down, but having, two
one
bites and then pouring your milk or something over it. And one milk, you could probably still find that as something good. So salt or something.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like something to ruin it so that you don't want it anymore. Because that's what I have to do. It's not enough for me to just be like, okay, I've had 2 bites and push it away from me. No, it needs to disappear or become completely disenchanted.
Sure.
You know
well, now
mean?
I know a lot of women out there saying, okay, I just don't like to exercise. I mean, I have to really exercise, Ali, isn't like a thing that I love to do. It's the thing I feel better. I feel so much better about it when I'm done, but I have to encourage myself to get on the treadmill and do that. Isn't it good sometimes to maybe find like a dance class or something?
Absolutely.
Just to get you moving?
Exactly. And that's one of the things that on Live Big with Ali Vincent we do. We explore different stuff like Zumba and pole dancing, and there's lots of really fun workouts out there that you don't even think are workouts, but you're sweating, you're moving, you're working out. You know what I mean? Like mommy groups with strollers. There's tons of stuff, and that's really what we try to do by keeping that conversation going, is to be like, oh, you heard about this? Have you ever heard about that? And so it's just to give us more choices. Our life is filled with choices, and we have to be willing to see what's available. That was one of the funniest things when I did come home from The Biggest Loser was nothing changed but me. It was oh, lo and behold, there's all of this available to me. I never knew it because I couldn't see it even though it was in front of my face. Do you know what I mean? It was just there was no way because I wasn't ready for it. So I think that finding something that you enjoy, whether it's a tap class, go to tap dancing. I have a friend who's in her early 30s and she took a tap dancing, and she's dropping weight, and it's not, in her mind, it wasn't to lose weight, it was to get moving, yes, to get her blood going, and she taps up a storm. So whatever it might be, whether it's,
you find your own thing that makes you feel good.
Absolutely. And it's fun to do it with our friends. I think if you don't have a friend that you think that will go with you, make friends where you go. You know what I mean? They're only, you gotta, that's have somebody that you, that knows you're coming there. Just if you like a spin class and you start going to it and you don't know anybody in there, go introduce yourself to the instructor and say, you know what, I really love your class. I'm going to be here on Monday night. So on Monday night, she's going to be looking for you. And then the third Monday night you come and you didn't go the 2 before, she's going to ask you. People want to support each other, and it is what we need. It's human nature to perform,
Do you find, or did you find in your own journey that there was maybe some people that weren't supportive, that maybe were more sabotaging, your weight loss abilities?
I did. And you know what? I think that communication is key, especially if you're making huge changes in your lives, because people are, for whatever, I hate to I don't want anybody to hear this the wrong way, but everybody in your life is comfortable with the way that you are right now, because that's what they're used to. Right. And so when anybody makes change, whether it's, to get healthier, whether it's to, they're going back to school to further their education, people, you create movement in your world, your day to day, and there's a rumble, and people get afraid that rumble means that they're going to rumble out. You know what I mean? That you're leaving them behind. And so I think if you really communicate to those people that you care about in your life and that you want to make sure understand that this has nothing to do with them, that you no longer can meet them on Wednesday nights for happy hour where there's mini chimichangas all you can eat and margaritas. You know what I mean? It's I want to spend my Wednesday nights with you, but for me, I need to do this for myself. So we can either, go and you can, we can go for a walk, we can go grocery shopping at a farmer's market, we can go for a spin class. I want to spend my time with you. I just need it to look differently. And you know what? I did lose some friendships, but what I realized is that the friends that I lost weren't really my friends.
There you go. That's key.
People want you to be happy. And if they don't, then you don't need them.
Well, Ali Vincent, you are a true inspiration. And if you haven't read it, go get her new book, her first book, Believe It, Be It, How Being the Biggest Loser Won Me Back My Life. Ali, thank you so much for being a guest. I hope you'll come back.
Absolutely. And don't forget to watch my show every Saturday at 5:30.
Oh, well, thank you for telling us when that is. It's on the Well Network, the Live Well Network, and it's called Live Big with Ali Vincent, right?
Live Big with Ali Vincent, Fridays or Saturdays at 5:30 on the Live Well Network. Yes.
All right, darling. Thanks so much.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.